Hello my students, hope you are fine. Science Primary 6. First term, Unit 3. Unit 3 is talking about the atmosphere. And this unit consists of 3 lessons. Lesson number 1 is talking about oxygen. Before explaining this lesson, I'm going to talk about the atmosphere. Let's start this video to know more about the atmosphere.
The surrounding air is quite clean and fresh. It is because the trees release oxygen into the air, which is an integral part of air. Trees help in maintaining the level of oxygen in the air, which is important for the survival of living beings. Air does not only contain oxygen, but there are several other gases present in it as well. In fact, air is a mixture of gases. Let us now find out what gases air is composed of. The biggest component of air is nitrogen. It comprises around 78% of the air. Out of the remaining 22%, 21% of air is composed of oxygen. So, nitrogen and oxygen gases form about 99% of air. The remaining 1% of air consists of several gases, including carbon dioxide, argon, helium, neon, hydrogen, ozone, and water vapor. So kids, now you know what air is composed of.
From the previous video, we can now determine the meaning of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a mixture of different gases around the Earth and is attracted to the Earth by gravity. What are the components of the atmosphere? Number 1, nitrogen gas represents 78%. Number 2, oxygen gas represents 21%. Number 3, carbon dioxide gas, water vapor, and other gases represents 1%. The atmospheric layer has many importance. Now I will explain these importance. Number 1, it protects the Earth by absorbing the ultraviolet radiation, which is harmful radiation coming from the sun or from the outer space. Number 2, it adjusts or regulates the Earth's temperature. Again, it regulates or adjusts the Earth's temperature. Number 3, it contains air pollutants such as dust particles and smoke, and they have a very important function. These dust particles and smoke help in condensation of water vapor in air and falling of rain and snow. How? Can you remember the condensation process? Who can tell me what's meant by condensation? Okay, it's a change of matter from gaseous state like water vapor to liquid state like water. When water vapor touches a cold surface, so water vapor starts to condense or collect on this cold surface and form drops of water. Here we have the same idea. The atmosphere contains water vapor. When this water vapor in the air around us touches the air pollutants, the air pollutants work as a cold surface, so it starts to be condensed and form rain and snow. Now we are going to talk about oxygen gas. The structure of oxygen gas, it consists of 2 oxygen atoms. When the 2 oxygen atoms combines together, they form 1 oxygen molecule. So An oxygen molecule consists of 2 oxygen atoms. The oxygen formula or the symbol of oxygen gas is O2. This means the oxygen molecule or oxygen gas consists of 2 oxygen atoms. Oxygen exists in gaseous state. It was discovered in 800 BC, then rediscovered by Joseph Priestley. Sources of oxygen gas. The main source of oxygen gas is green plant by photosynthesis process. How does this green plant take carbon dioxide gas from air, water and mineral salts from the soil, and light energy from the sun or the sunlight? Then the plants make photosynthesis process and produce food or nutrients and oxygen gas. Here we have an exercise about the previous part. Let's start solving it. Complete the following. Number 1. The atmosphere is attracted to the Earth by space. The answer: the atmosphere is attracted to the Earth by gravity. Number 2. The oxygen represents space percent of the air volume, while space represents 78% of the air volume. The answer: the oxygen represents 21% of the air volume, while nitrogen represents 78% of the air volume. Number 3. Oxygen molecule consists of space. The answer: oxygen molecule consists of 2 oxygen atoms. Number 4. Oxygen is produced during space process. The answer: oxygen is produced during photosynthesis process. Number 5. Plants need space, 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 and space to perform photosynthesis process, to give out space and space. The answer: plants need carbon dioxide gas, water, minerals, sunlight to perform photosynthesis process, to give out food and oxygen. Give reason for the ratio of oxygen is fixed in the air. Why? The amount of oxygen gas in the air, which is 21%, is fixed or constant. The answer: this is because the amount of oxygen gas that we consumed during respiration process and burning or combustion is compensated or recovered by the green plant during photosynthesis process. Again, the answer: because the plant compensates oxygen gas during photosynthesis process. How did they know the amount of oxygen gas? Here we have a video that will explain to us. Here we have a candle. can conclude from the previous video, the lighted candle puts off and water rises in the cylinder 1/5 of its volume. Air inside the cylinder loses one of its components, which is oxygen, as it's consumed by the candle during burning. So, water rises in the cylinder by a ratio of 1/5 or 21%. This means oxygen occupies 1/5 or 21% of the air volume. Let's start the summary for what I explained. Atmosphere is a mixture of different gases around the Earth and is attracted to the Earth by gravity. The components of the atmosphere: number 1, nitrogen gas represents 78%, oxygen gas represents 21%, carbon dioxide gas, water vapor, other gases represents 1%. From the importance of the atmosphere: number 1, it protects the Earth by absorbing the ultraviolet radiations comes from the space. Number 2, it adjusts the Earth's temperature. An oxygen molecule consists of 2 oxygen atoms. The oxygen formula or symbol is O2. It exists in gaseous state. The main source of oxygen gas is green plants by photosynthesis process. The ratio of oxygen is fixed in the air because the plant compensates oxygen gas during photosynthesis process. Oxygen occupies 1/5 of air volume.